Hello, friends. Welcome to my live stream, which I'm actually beaming right into your social media from my spacecraft. You are actually watching this scene from my command center. And in this live stream, we will talk about water being found on the surface of Mars. And this is the latest discovery. So let us go near Mars up close so that I can actually share some facts and figures that we have found so far. So let's go to the orbit of Mars. Well, as you know, Mars is the next destination for mankind, and there are a lot of preparation going on in terms of building the human colony on Mars, and the target has been set. The target is by 2050, there will be at least 1 million humans living on the surface of the Mars. So that means the next decade, which is the decade of 30s to 40s, I think there will be some preparation going to happen, real preparation going to happen, which will allow humans to travel initially on a temporary basis on the surface of the Mars, and then eventually creating or building a permanent colony on the surface of the Mars. So I think that is where the mankind is moving, and once we try and settle on the Mars, we would need a lot of local resources in order to live our life. So I think we prepared a video a few days back about how we can actually construct houses using the local material, because the soil of the Mars is titanium rich. So you can actually build using 3D print technology a very strong, very sturdy dome structures which will protect you from the weather of the Mars as well as the radiation. So coming back to the subject, that while we have taken care of the shelters that may be required for human settlement, but I think the most important thing that humans would need is water, because water will help us grow our food. It will also help us create a breathable atmosphere in the shelters, and the hydrogen which can be extracted from the water can act as a fuel. So it can actually get into our hydrogen based fuel cell. We can generate electricity. So I think the first thing is very important is to find the water, and that is where the whole research is happening from the orbiting satellites as well as the rovers which are doing this research on the surface of the Mars. Now as you can see in this picture, that there are a lot of river like channels that can be seen on the surface of the Mars. Now these river channels are nothing but if there is a water which is in liquid form will flow naturally from high grounds to the low ground. So that is what forms the river. And since water does not remain in water form for a very long time, we actually see these empty channels on the surface of the Mars, but doesn't mean that there is not water, because the mean temperature of the surface of the Mars is very cold, is almost like -40, -50 degrees, and on the poles about -80 degrees. So at -40, there is no way water can remain in liquid form. It will solidify or it will evaporate, but it will not be there for very long time in liquid form. Therefore, the assumption of the scientist is that the entire surface of the Mars may be formed because of the permafrost. So this is a similar landscape that we find in certain parts of Canada and most of Siberia. The land itself is frozen, or the marshy land gets frozen, and it actually gets harder than the rock itself. But it's a frozen water underneath, frozen water mixed with soil, and it is a marshy land. So the suspicion is that there is a lot of water on Mars, but it could be in frozen form and it can be extracted. If it is, the surface is permafrost, that means water can be drilled out and can be purified and can be used. So that means there will be a lot of water, and therefore when we say follow the water, that is the first requirement for any human settlement. We would like to settle near the source which can give us endless supply of water. So I think that is where all the research is going on. And it is not futile. Because of this research and exploration, we have actually found that there is a lot of water on the surface of Mars in the frozen form. First of all, if we decide to go and settle near the pole of the Mars, because in terms of temperature, there will not be much of a difference between -40 and -80 in terms of providing protection, building these dome structures and heating them up. So the poles definitely have ice caps. As you can see in this picture, there are huge ice caps, and all kinds of ice is there. It's water ice, there is carbon dioxide frozen, that is the carbon dioxide frozen, which is also white in color. Then there are some alkalines, and there are different things which are mixed in this concoction. Nevertheless, there is a lot of water ice which is there on the pole. So one area there, once we decide to set up our colony there, we can very selective about where we can settle down. So if we find a good source of water near the equator, then probably we will set up our colony near the equator, or we can choose to move closer to the poles of the Mars, either north or south, and get access to this lot of water which is in frozen form. We can melt it, extract it from water and other gases like carbon dioxide, etc. And the carbon dioxide, once it is freed, can help us heat up our atmosphere, and also will be beneficial for the plants, because carbon dioxide is the food for the plants. So we can actually use both of these type of ice for our settlement on Mars. And what we have also seen is that there are multiple layers of this ice. So just like we have the geological impressions on the surface of the earth, where there are rock deposits deposited in layers. Similarly, this ice has been formed based on certain climatic condition, and different layers are there. So there are at least 4 to 5 different layers, and made of different types of ice. One type is water ice, other type is carbon dioxide frozen white ice again, and then alkaline, and also different types of material which are frozen, may look white, may look of different color, and certain areas may be mixed with dirt and become a permafrost. So in all these cases, we would need to send a purification unit or a machinery which will purify water and extract all these compounds. So if we set up our colony near the pole, then we have a lot of material available which can be extracted and can be utilized for our benefit, for growing our plants, for running our machinery, by consuming the hydrogen, using that as a fuel, for oxygen, for breathing purposes, and of course water for life. As we say, water is life. So I think there is this study shows a lot of promising prospects, and it also proves the point that there is a lot of water, and we can pick and choose the right place where we can send our machinery before people starts to go on the surface of the Mars. And that is why we are saying that now the goal of settling 1 million humans, men and women, on Mars is not a pipe dream. It looks like it can be possible. And with the new advancement in the 3D technology, as well as how we can extract these different compounds using the ice there on the Mars, as well as the Ingenuity helicopter has also shown us how we can create our vehicles which will fly in the atmosphere of Mars. So drone technology, etc., has already been tested on the surface of Mars. So there is a lot of support, and there's still 20 years to go towards achieving our target. So I think the way we are advancing, more and more advancement can be expected in the near future. So this study looks very promising. If you have any thoughts on this, do send in your comments. And today is Friday, so I will take your leave, only to catch you on Monday next week. You enjoy your weekend, and bye bye for today.